out our, prayers to Rafa. Is he feeling better now?
No.
Oh,
Not really.
he's still out. Oh, shoot.
He's far
Man.
from recovering. He's far from recovered,
Yeah, it's
What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another daily bodybuilding news live, and we have a ton of news stories for you guys today. One of them is this physique update from Andrew Jack, but we've also got physique updates from Martin Fitzwater over there in Dubai right now. We've also got the 2023 New York Pro competitor list, the official competitor lists. We've got the Open, the 212, the Classic Physique, plus much more. And we've got updates from a ton of those competitors too, including Tonio Burton, Beef Stew, Stuart Sutherland, Nate Spear, Noel Adami, who's in the 212s, plus much more. Also, what is up with Rafael Brandao and his illness, his dengue fever? Is it going to hold him out of the 2023 bodybuilding season? There's a chance of that, plus much more. So let's get into this one, guys. I've got a ton of physique updates, and I want to feature this one first. I'll replay this one again for you. It's Andrew Jack, and he said 10 days into the off-season, 301.6 pounds, 136.8 kilograms. He's out there in Binos Gym, or Binos. Still maintaining leanness whilst putting on decent mass. First physique update in a long time, yes sir. So Andrew Jack, I think, is looking phenomenal in these recent physique updates. Obviously, 301.6 pounds in somewhat reasonable condition. Also, the fact that it says 10 days into his off-season as well is interesting, because I believe he's doing the Texas Pro, which is 13 and a half weeks away from now. So that's very interesting. And shout out to you guys and everyone who's getting in the comments live. And if you are watching on replay, get in the comments, like the video, also subscribe and hit the notification and bell button for Desktop Bodybuilding. That way you won't miss out on any of the coverage of the 2023 New York Pro. And let me know what you think in the comments about Andrew Jack, how he's looking at, well, apparently 13 and a half weeks out of the Texas Pro. It's my understanding that he is doing that show, but 10 days into the off-season, which essentially to me means, when bodybuilders say this, 10 days into jumping on and trying to put on as much mass as possible. And the conditioning he's in right now, it looks like he could probably still, call it an off-season, until 10 weeks out, and then launch into your hard prep. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below on Andrew Jack, 10 days into his off-season, but I believe he will be trying to qualify for that 2023 Mr. Olympia. Now we have more physique updates for you guys, and this one's from Bodybuilding University's own Martin Fitzwater out there in Dubai. He's actually in that same gym, Binos Gym, as well, so this is quite relevant. And Martin is looking enormous. Anyone who thinks that Martin hasn't been working this off-season is crazy. And I know he's been working, and he puts in a lot of work. Actually, a bit like Sergio as well, and how he's been. Sergio does all those extra things. Martin definitely does all those extra things. And yeah, looking very, very good. And we know Martin Fitzwater has the legs to match, and the back is crazy too. So these shots are not his stronger shots, but he's turning them into strong shots. So very, very excited for Martin Fitzwater, seen here with Noel, who's obviously a very, very popular dude on social media as well. So I'm very excited for Martin Fitzwater in 2023. And I'm looking forward to hearing how his Dubai trip went once he gets back on Bodybuilding University as well. Now we have more physique updates for you guys. And this one's an interesting one, because Sassan Harati, he's been off the stage for quite a while now. And he's sort of put up a few little physique things recently. Michael says Martin looks upgrade. I thought he said downgraded from going overseas. Yeah, he definitely does. Absolutely. But Sas Harati, now, this guy has a phenomenal physique. Now, he's been off the stage for quite a while now. I don't know how many years. Oh, here we go. So an unplanned couple of mins back on stage after 5 years. Few smiles, few poses, and a ton of fun. Still love this shit. Not there yet. And then puts a little wink and then a fist bump. So the fact that he put that there, I'm like, this is exciting. And now he's not fully tanned up to be on stage. So he's never going to look near as good or near as defined. But quickly just look. He sort of locked it out. But look at those quads. His medialis and his outer quad is fully striated. If this guy was like, cut water, filled up, and then put tan on. Like, he would look really, really good just like this, but I think he's got a lot of room to move, and I think he could gas up even a lot more on this. So I think he needs to show more in the back, and if he can bring that up, I mean, Sassan Harati can come back to the IFBB Pro bodybuilding stage with this plus extra, because his hammies are hard. Like, he's in condition here, and he's not trying to compete. So I'm very excited to see if Sassan Harati makes a comeback to the bodybuilding stage. He's been up there, I believe, in the top 5 in the New York Pro. And I think Sergio Oliva Jr., Sergio can correct me if I'm wrong, believes Sass should have maybe even won that show, which he actually won, or should have been right up there in the top 2. So a lot of guys are huge raps for him, and he's just a phenomenal competitor. So I cannot wait to see what he does on stage. And also make sure you guys stick around, because I believe I could possibly be having a special guest on this episode. Fingers crossed that you guys will be seeing that before this episode wraps. But let me know your thoughts on Sassan Harati, and would you like to see him back on an IFBB Pro bodybuilding stage? Now, let's get to the 2023 New York Pro lineup, because it's a pretty good one. And you guys can rate it in the comments as well. Sorry, in the poll if you are watching live as well. What do you rate the New York Pro out of 10? Let me know your thoughts about the lineup, at least anyway. So here's the lineup. We sort of talked about a lot of this before. We've got Slavov Bednard, we've got Tonio Burton, Max Charles. This is one I didn't have on the list. Leonardus Cardoza Delfino from Austin, Texas. Walter Debs, Jason Herbert, Mike Halusi from Australia, who was actually in that Pittsburgh Pro guest posing. Joseph Kefton, Ken Woo Park, or Keanu Woo Park, Joe Seaman, Nate Spear, Robin Strand, Stuart Sutherland, Brent Swanson, Marius Tom Zook, and Eric Wood. So that's the open. We'll get to the 212 as well. We've got some physique updates from these guys too. So we'll get to those open physique updates. And we've got Beef Stew, a guy who's obviously going to be a contender for this one here. Looking fantastic. I just did an interview with Stuart Sutherland as well. You can see it here. There's a great interview and lots of really good feedback. And I'll get to some of those comments later to give you guys a shout out for getting in the comments. But looking at these physique updates, I mean, it's much of what we've seen, but it's just a little bit better again. So 5 days out, 253.1 pounds. He's a guy that's taller than you think he is, so he's going to look more imposing on stage. He looks like he's a 5'6", 5'5" bodybuilder standing alone. And he actually said in the interview, he believes it's because of the size of his head. He doesn't have like a small head where it sort of dictates how big you think guys are, because he's got a small waist, and you go, why do we think he's shorter? But it's because he's got those round muscle bellies. He's got a lot of thickness on a, taller, I suppose, for the average bodybuilder physique, I guess you'd say. Or at least as tall as, these taller guys, maybe 5'9", 5'8". I can't remember his exact height. I think it was 5'9". But he's looking pretty damn good. And I think as these photos go along, they get even more impressive. But he really doesn't have any weak shots, and that's a great strength for a bodybuilder. From the back, he's good as well. Maybe you could use a little bit more on that back double, but I think because of his height, he's going to look very good. And these are 2 real money shots for him, and also front double as well. He's really, like I said, he doesn't have many bad shots, because then I think about his side shots, I'm like, they're really good too. So Beef Stew is looking very, very good. I think he's going to be a contender for this show, but he's going to have some stiff competition, as I'll get to in this video. I want to shout out Nate Spear, and let me know what you think about Beef Stew in the comments, Stuart Sutherland as well. I'll just check to make sure our special guest hasn't logged in, and not as yet. Nate Spear, a couple of side shots today, post-workout, 5 days out. Looking pretty damn good is Nate Spear, and he's a guy that continually makes improvements. Here's another shot. This was 8 hours ago, 253 pounds this morning, much the same weight of Stuart Sutherland, 5 days out of the New York Pro. We know Nate Spear is going to bring conditioning. I think he just needs to continue to add more mass, but he seems like he's adding muscle every year and coming in great shape as always. So shout out to Nate Spear. And a guy I wanted to feature in this one is Tonio Burton, because look at this physique update with a HD camera. I mean, the level of density and muscularity is mind-blowing. Like, you don't see this on many guys full stop, ever. But it's very much a Dexter Jackson-esque type physique right now. It's absolutely crazy. And we've got John Bless. Let me know your thoughts on Tonio in the comments. Tonio is winning for sure. I get 5'8", Jacob Madrid said about Stuart Sutherland. We've got the Red Loop, Joseph the Viking. Then we've got Love Your Content. Shout out to you guys. And then we've got the Red Loop. I don't want to miss out any Andrew Jack comments because I get called a hater for him for some reason. If Jack decides to string together a few victories this summer, he could really hurt people's feelings, even Hunter's. Yeah, definitely possible. Hunter's looking fantastic right now, though, so who knows? But Tonio Burton looking next level here. And we've got a video update as well from Tonio, which is just nutty. Like, it's muscle quality that you just don't see come around too often. So let's look at this. Look at that Christmas tree. It's like a Flex Wheeler-esque, like when he was at his best. Just the dryness, the density. Look at that back. Like, there's veins all through it. It is so dense. It's conditioned and it's round. It's absolutely wild. And I just want to watch that again. That is crazy. And I don't think we've seen this level of conditioning on Tonio before either. And this level of muscularity. Appreciate you guys getting in the comments. Jonathan R says, Tonio must be one of the most beautiful bodies in years. I mean, yeah, you can say beautiful, but it's one of the craziest and beautiful bodies. So very, very crazy. So impressed with Tonio Burton in these recent physique updates. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how he does this year. And let me know how you think he'll do. Will he qualify for the Olympia? Is he a potential top 10 guy this year? Because honestly, I think he is. He's definitely a potential top 10 guy. And you got Michael Doherty in there as well, saying Stu has said in a new interview with Think Big Bodybuilding that he thinks that his lats are a weak point for him. That's an honest dude about his physique. That's really cool. The Red Loop says Tonio is another 212 guy who's killing it in the open. Yep, absolutely. Tonio's back looks insane from Jacob Madrid. Damn, that back is nutty. And then Jonathan R going as far as to say he is a top 5 guy. I honestly think he is. I don't know if it's this year, but I think that he will be landing in the top 5 in the Olympia at some point for sure. Just in my opinion. But let's get back to these lineups because we've got more guys in obviously other divisions as well. But shout out to Tonio Burton. It's almost like a daily Tonio Burton update on desktop bodybuilding. But we've got 212 as well. And I only had 4 or 5 names on my list for this 212. But I had most of the main guys who were going to do some damage in this show. But the addition that I have seen, which I didn't see earlier, was Noel Adame, who's a Mr. Olympia competitor in the 212. He's joining, obviously, Kerif Badjo, who's a top guy and will definitely be hard to beat in this one for sure. But Noel Adame is a guy that can actually get that done. So let's have a look at Noel. So this was posted 2 weeks ago. It says coming back. And he looks hard. He looks dense. He's always in condition. He's got the death face going on. And yeah, he's going to be a guy that's definitely going to be challenging for this one because look at his physique. A lot of density, a lot of quality, a lot of separation. There's not too much bad you can say about Noel Adame. And when you really look at his physique, he brings certain packages that are definitely more aesthetic than others. So this was maybe a slightly older one from him. I'm not too sure. But a very impressive competitor. He actually beat a friend of mine, Aaron Pilates, in the 212 in a controversial decision. And then Aaron got it over him at the Olympia, placing 9th. And I think Noel was down in 15th or something. But this was an older photo from 53 weeks ago. So obviously a different physique now. And that's his most recent. So no real defined physique updates. But he says here, Aceto signature. So Chris Aceto is still prepping Noel Adame. He's the king of the Brazilians. I believe he's Brazilian. Let me know if he's not. And I just noticed this is a logo that looks like he's tried to put it on the t-shirt, on the shirt there. Obviously a sponsor, so that's pretty clever because I thought that was part of his top there. But yeah, he's looking obviously very, very good. And let's scroll down. That's the only really big name added to that lineup that I didn't know about. In the Classic Physique, we've got Zeke Andrews. He's a really, really good competitor, so I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm not the best. Michael DeBull, though, is going to be very hard to beat. Obviously, just winning that Pittsburgh Pro. He'll be looking to make it 2 from 2. Camilo Diaz, I've seen him before. I'm trying to remember exactly what he looks like. Callum Hins, who obviously was on the channel last week, who has just a nutty physique. But yeah, plenty of names there. Men's Physique, tons of names. Joseph Menzel from Australia, shout out. Owner of Massive Joe's. women's bodybuilding. We've got figure as well. Trying to quickly scan the names. Go down to bikini. I'm sure, what's her name, who does all the shows and wins all the shows is in here as well. No? I can't see her. Women's physique. I don't know if Natalia Coelho is going to do this one as well. Yes, she is doing the New York Pro. So it's cool that a Miss Olympia is coming into these shows doing like, last week's Pittsburgh Pro and then doing the New York Pro. There's no, obviously, Arnold Classic. So she's made these shows her Arnold Classic, and it's cool to get some titles like the Pittsburgh and the New York, obviously prestigious titles there. So some exciting names in these competitors list, and they're just going to get better and better, these lineups, as guys miss out on qualifying spots and have to move on to the next show, and it's going to compile a lot of these names. And we already know there's a lot of good names in these later shows, so that's going to be crazy exciting. So I'm going to see Josh, you'll have to I'm just going to pull this up. You said, what are those lines on the side of Stu's legs? We actually talk about that in the latest interview. So I'm going to go over to that and show some of your guys' comments on that video. But you can find out in this interview here. So make sure you do check that one out. Just head over to Desktop Bodybuilding's channel. It's in the one-on-one section or in the latest videos. And you guys had some really cool things to say on this interview. So I want to feature this. Gambarizing says, this was a good interview. I like how you didn't go the typical route and just stick with questions about training and competitions prep. And I appreciate Stu's honesty. Believe it or not, but speaking candidly about your mental health issues and any kind of struggles helps others who are going through similar things. It's good to know that you're not in it alone and there are things you can do to get better. Plus, it's cathartic. And I'm not a pro or have any aspirations of becoming a pro, but I love bodybuilding and being in the gym because it's really helped me with my own personal struggles, and I like the sense of kinship that it brings. Everyone is working towards some kind of personal goal. That is just, that comment, I read that, and that literally made me so happy. I can't even explain, didn't even like it though. Mind and body. I like this guy a lot. Despite his youth, as he speaks, you can tell he's a student of the iron game. Very intelligent in his approach to competitive bodybuilding and realistic about his physique, goals, and progression, on top of a phenomenal body structure. He reminds me of Evan Centopani and his candor. Introspective and thoughtful, a thinking bodybuilder. Another great comment, Mind and Body. Shout out to you. Ralph, nice kid. Heard him on a couple of podcasts. He has a bright future. Wish him all the luck. Another awesome comment. Stepan Archuni says, that was awesome. Stu is a unique person. Thanks for sharing your stories. Great interview, Xavier. Wish Stu all the best for New York Pro. Stu's the talk of the town. This was an excellent visit from Fast Times. This was an excellent interview, more in depth than some of the other lightweight interviewers that have had him on their channels lately. I should still like that because I appreciate the love, but I like everyone's interviews, man, and that's a very big compliment. Vega, sorry, dude, if I'm mispronouncing that. Big head with big brains and big gains. Very good pro. The hair is epic too. That's cool. Here we go. AK says, Xavier, please hold a university session with Martin and Stu. Brett as well, but I think those two plus yourself would be great. Possibly Stan as well. Great interview. I hope your week is smooth and productive, brother. Thank you, AK. Great interview again. I don't want to just read these non-stop, but as you can go down, people loved this interview. So I just want to shout out to everyone. Liked it, love it, dropped a like before viewing. A good addition to Bodybuilding University. So Stu, if you're watching this, we'll have to get you on, man. We'll have to definitely get you on at some point for Bodybuilding University. And I don't believe, yeah, Red Loop, desktopers are the best, 100. Yeah, Stu is in his 20s. He's only 26 years of age, as Michael Doherty says here. So the Red Loop says, Stu's inner thighs need a bit of work, my only critique. So let's go back to these physique updates so you guys can see Beef Stu on the screen as we speak about him. And then very shortly, we're going to get to the news about Rafael Brandao, who actually had, what did he have? He had Gengi fever. If you guys don't know about Gengi fever, I've actually heard about it from a friend of mine in the past who was living in Thailand. And he spoke about it and he's like, it's pretty dangerous. You know, he's like, I don't want to get that. And yeah, that's what Rafael Brandao had. And this is what his coach Chris Aceto had to say on the latest episode of Heavy Muscle Radio about Rafael Brandao and potentially how his 2023 season is at risk. So let's listen to this.
Prayers to Rafa. Is he feeling better now?
No.
Oh,
Not
he's
really.
still out. Oh, shoot.
He's
Man.
far from recovering. He's far from recovered,
Yeah, it's
So he's far from recovered. So, and he spoke about this a little bit. And I mean, it's pretty scary that something like this has taken this guy out. I know he had the flu when that was going around, very, very bad, and he was kept him out, I think, of the Olympia from what I can remember. So it's been bad news after bad news for Rafael Brandao. So hopefully he's able to get over this pretty quick and he has a good run and is able to compete in the Olympia, or at least try to qualify this year. If he's not qualified as yet, I don't believe he is. But it'd be incredibly unfortunate if Rafael Brandao does not make it to the Olympia stage this year. But as you can see here, see if there's a translation thing. Might be rough. Hi guys, finally discharged. This was only 6 days ago. And still being said, but he's far from fully recovered. He's not recovered right now. It was 5 days. It felt like a month. So he's in hospital for 5 days with this, then got discharged. Thank God I've recovered to the point I no longer need to be hospitalized. I'll continue home treatment for a few more days until I'm 100%. The next few days, I'll still be resting at home. So obviously resting at home, but the fact that Chris Aceto said far from recovered is a little bit concerning, because dengue fever is something that can actually kill you. It's absolutely no joke. So hopefully Rafael makes a full recovery and is able to feel 100% better. I don't know what that photo is. But yeah, so obviously very unfortunate, but he has a great support network, and hopefully he's able to, it's not too much of a slight on his 2023 bodybuilding season, and he's able to get back up on stage. Now, I don't know if we're going to have our special guest. I'll quickly message our potential special guest and try to get him on. If not, I'll see if I can get him on directly after this, possibly, and do another video. Let me see. Just messaging him now. We'll see, but I'll go back to a couple of those comments on the YouTube video. I actually shared Stuart Sutherland's. Actually, I'll go to that. I shared Stuart Sutherland's latest physique update on Desktop Bodybuilding on the community tab. So if you're not on the community tab, check out the Desktop Bodybuilding community tab. Try to put more stuff up there for you guys. Latest physique updates from Stuart Sutherland, who got 18 comments on it. Hopefully nothing's too bad in here. Stephen Tooney says, looks fantastic. Can't wait to see it on stage. Luke Groundwalker says, this guy looks insane. Can't wait to see how his conditioning is show day. Swollen City Fitness says, damn, let's MF go. I think we know what MF means. Dr. Phil, I don't think it's the real Dr. Phil, says he got Stewie Griffin eyes. Good physique. Back double is wild. Lee Carmichael, insanity. Wild as the Taliban. It looks like he could win the show. I have winning taking the W from Derek. Is he one of the Trend Twins? Trend Twins' older brother. I don't know if he's got that before. Great physique, horrible haircut, man. I love the haircut. Lame wig, hilarious. May sound douchey to some. He needs a haircut. Presently, it is a distraction. I don't think so. I think it looks fantastic. Honestly, I think it looks better with the hair. I think it looks cool. I don't think it's a distraction whatsoever. We need more personality. We need this stuff more in bodybuilding, in my opinion. It looks like our special guest might not be making it. Sorry, guys. I thought we had someone in, but I don't believe we do. And if not, I will try to get this guy on tomorrow. So, and what's up, Noah? You have to rewind to the start because we're just about to wrap this thing up shortly. But Stuart Sutherland, obviously that's his latest physique updates if you are just joining us live now. But unfortunately, I don't think we'll have a special guest this episode. I'll give it 20 more seconds. I don't believe so. I think he's getting some therapy or something at the time. So we'll have to get him on tomorrow, or I might actually interview him shortly after this, and I'll get that interview up for you guys, and you guys can wait. And I'll leave that as a bit of a teaser for you guys for tomorrow's episode, or maybe actually for tomorrow morning for you guys if you are in the US, because I might be able to interview him and then get that up then. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another Daily Bodybuilding News Live. That's it for this one. For myself, Xavier Wills, this is Desktop Bodybuilding. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell button, because we have contest coverage almost every weekend now for like 13 weeks. And then there's like a couple of weeks off, and then we go again. So it's something like 15 contests coming up in something like 20 weeks. It's absolutely wild. And I will be going live for all of those as well. And these lives are going to go for hours. So you guys can join in, let me know your thoughts on it, and follow along as these contests are live. And I'll be staying up all through the nights, basically. So anyway, guys, that's it for this one. I'm Xavier Wills. This is Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are out.